Hey guys, I am Boaz, back to your lovely room. I'm an international mathematics tutor, a mentor and a conference speaker. I do a lot of talks to high school students, even at campus. I teach across from Kenya, all the way to Cairo, Uganda, all the African setup. I teach. I have so many students in the United States. I have many students in Canada. I have students in Saudi Arabia. I have students in South Africa. And I believe this channel is taking us far. It is not me, it is us. So let us work and promote this channel and promote every program that runs in it. Today, I want to teach you something on series. I want to teach you something on series. Now, when I talk about series, we are going to debate about the AP and the GP. The AP-GP means the arithmetic series or arithmetic progression. Let me put my marker well. Arithmetic series and arithmetic progression. Or geometric series or geometric progression. All these are very much applicable in real life, especially in growth. People study medicine. People study pharmacy. There's a lot of application. Even engineering and people running computer programs, they need a lot of the series, which they convert it into different softwares. Now, when we talk about series, I would start with the very basic. Let us talk about the AP. What is AP? AP is an arithmetic series. An example, I may give you numbers like 3, 5, 7, 9. I start on a very simple basic. Now, when I provide you with 3, 5, 7, and what do you note? There is an increment. There is an increment of what? Of 2. There is an increment of plus 2. So write in your mind, if somebody asking you what is the fifth term, you will tell me it's 11, because you know it is simply increasing with the 2. This does not only need mathematics students, even people taking other languages, they can easily solve this, because these are just basics. Now, from here I want us to come up with some good ideas. Like in the series, the first term is always denoted by A. So my first term is 3. Now there is a difference that is common. So we call it D. D is supposed to be 2 plus 2. Okay? Then this is called the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If there are 5, we denote N is 5. So N stands for the number of terms. So whoever asking you find the third term is asking you to take N to be 3. Second term, N to be 2. And the 100th term, N to be 100. You see how easy it is supposed to be. Now I want to teach you, can we come up with a formula? Let me call it Tn to be the nth term. Let me write here. Let me call the nth term to be Tn. The formula should be A plus N minus 1 D, where A is the first term, N is the number of terms, D is the common difference. Now let's develop this model with you here, that if you want to get the nth term, it should be A, and my A is 3, plus N, and my N, let us leave N, let us not use that, because it is the nth we are looking. Then common difference to be 2. Now here we get 3, 2 times N is plus 2N, 2 times 1 is minus 2. So this is 2N, 3 minus 2 is plus 1. So in this particular series, our nth term Tn is the same as 2n plus 1. So we have developed it with you, that whenever you want to get the next term, you simply use this model. You can pause the video and look at it. To all my dear students in the whole globe. Now, let me say you want to get the third term. Assume you did not know it is 7. You just say T3, 1, 2, 3. So it should be, you go to the formula twice N. If N is 3, then plus 1. So you get it 6 plus 1 is 7. So you see how we get our nth term. Somebody can come and ask you, can you find the 100th? The 100th term. You cannot keep writing 11, 13 all the way to 100. That would be so difficult. You just come and say, if you want to get the 100th term, our n becoming 100. So you go back to the formula and say the T100 should be 2 times n, and our n being 100, 100 times 2, we get 200 plus 1, we get 201. That's how we are going to work out our, what? Our 100th term. Let us use, for example, 11, 14, 17, all the way. Then somebody is asking you, can you find the nth term or the fourth term? The first thing that you need to note, the common difference here after noting it is 3. Then you have to write your formula. So the formula is our Tn becoming the a plus n minus 1 into d. That's how we find the nth term in any arithmetic progression or arithmetic series. So my a is the first term, which is 11. My d, which is the common difference, is 3. So we can come and say, we can work up the fourth term. If you want the 7th term, which we don't know, we come and say T7 becoming a plus n, which is 7 minus 1, which is 6, times d. So we get 11 plus 18, which is 29. So your 7th term becoming 29. What if somebody comes and asks you guys that find the sum? What if you have been asked find sum of the series, and maybe I put 4 plus 7 plus 10 plus 13 plus all the way plus 304. Find the sum of the series. In other words, they're telling you the last term, the nth term here is 304. So it is 4 plus 7 plus 10. If you add everything until you reach a number which is 3 or 4, adding all of them, you find the sum. For you to answer that question, you must know what is the formula for getting the sum in any given series. And the formula is very simple. The sum of the terms is always n over 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 into d. I would like you to remember that formula. The sum of the terms for arithmetic series is n over 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 into d, where d is the common difference, n is the number of terms. So you can go and say, by the rule, by the constitution of maths, the moment you know this law is what will be applicable here. But remember, I don't know n. I don't know how many numbers are in between 13 and 304. But I know my first term is 4. My common difference is 3. So we know a, we know d, but we do not know n. Now in maths, you start with what you know, just like students taking chemistry, maybe extracting a product from another. You have to state what already you have. Now in this part, the moment you know the formula for that, you need to know the other concept that says, how do we find the nth term? And the nth term in the arithmetic series states that Tn should be a plus n minus 1 into d. In fact, we extract it here. You see, because if you multiply this, it cancels. So we simply get, this is the nth term. So you come and ask yourself, if your nth term, the last term here is 304, how do we find the value of n? So you come and say, you come to this and say, since this term which we don't know, it is just given here to be 304. It should have been worked out by a, and my a is supposed to be 4, plus n we don't know minus 1 into d, which we know. So I'm teaching you step by step, from known to unknown. You can pause the video, guys. Then we want to work out the value of n. So you come and write, the 304 should be 4 plus. Remember, when the number is outside the bracket, it is called in mathematics distributive property. It multiplies everything in. The 3 will multiply 1 and the 3 will multiply n. So we get the 3n minus 3. So our 304 becomes 4 minus 3 is 1. So it is 3n plus 1. Then collect like terms. So you will get 303 becoming 3n. Remember in our lecture I taught you the number that multiplies the letter is called coefficient. That letter is called a variate or a variable. So we divide both sides by 3. So this implies our n becoming 101. Now we have our n, okay? Now if you know now our n is supposed to be 101, so now we come here and say the sum of the terms where n is now 101 should be the same as n over 2, which is 101 over 2 into twice a, which is now 8, plus n minus 1, which is 101 minus 1, which is 100, times d, and my d was supposed to be 3. This provides 101 over 2 into 300 plus 8, we get 308, which we can put over 1. 2 gets here 1, 2 gets here 154. Then we say our 154 times 101, which becomes 451,000,451. I hope you remember your middle school multiplication, guys. So this is so sweet. So we get 5, we get 5, we get 551. So the sum of the terms becomes 15,554. So this is the sum of the terms in that given sequence. So what did you learn from that? They don't provide it directly. They give you a question. It's upon you to know what are the rules that leads there. So that is all about arithmetic series. The nth term and the sum of the terms. Remember those. That the nth term in arithmetic series is a plus n minus 1 into d. The sum of the terms in arithmetic series is n over 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 into d. So those are 2. Let me now take you back to geometric progression or geometric series. A teacher may decide and provide you 3, 9, 27, then asking you the fourth term. It is very simple. The only thing you need to know under the geometric series, there is something called ratio, which is always common. Now the formula for the geometric series is always a power r power n. This is how we normally get our geometric series concept. This is the nth term. The moment you know this, which we can model from here, because if you take your second over first number, your third over second number, it gives you a 3. And that 3 is called R. It is a common ratio. It is something that is common to all. You can remember by dividing each one of them. It simply provides you with the same thing. Don't you see it is working over here? Now, we also need to know that for us to get the sum of the terms should be a into r power n minus 1 over 1 minus, over r minus 1, the other way around, sorry. Over 1 minus r minus 1. Or it can be the sum of the terms becomes a into 1 minus r power n over 1 minus r. And this is when our common ratio is less than 1. Then this one is when our common ratio is greater than 1. You need to know the 3. So please remember this. That the nth term is a r power n, n minus 1. The power always reduces by 1. You see, as you work it throughout, you keep moving to the next step. Then sum of the terms, a into r power n minus 1 over r minus 1. That means when r is greater than 1. But if r is less than 1, you do the other way around. Now let me give you an example. If somebody comes and asks you here, how should you find, because if I talk about the terms that we have provided, there are 3, you take our n to be 3. Now you can come and say your first term is supposed to be 3 and your common ratio is 3, because the common ratio is the ratio between the numbers. This divide by that, or preceding number divide by the previous, right? Now what if I use my a to be 3 times r into n minus 1? The n was supposed to be what? The n was supposed to be 3. So I take 3 minus 1. Yeah, if we use the a r into n minus 1. Now which term are we looking for here? We are looking for the third term. If I take my n to be 3, so you pick this 3 times 3, 3 minus 1 is 2, so 3 squared. So it is 3 times 9, which is 27. So this A stands for A, this 3 stands for A, then 3 stands for common ratio, then this 3 is n minus 1. So this is the formula I was trying to write for you here, that the nth term should be A times R into n minus 1. Please remember that. Let me give you more examples so that we may walk in the same page. An example, somebody comes and give you, oh, let's guess any number, maybe 4, 8, 16. 4, 8, 16. So 8 divided by 4 is 2. 16 divided by 8 is 2. So the common ratio, knowing our first term is 4, our common ratio is 2. Then if somebody asking you, find the 30th term. The 30th term means when n is equal to 30. So what are we supposed to do? We write our formula here, A R into n minus 1, becoming A is 4 times R is 2, then the power n being 30 minus 1, which is 4 times 2, power 29. So you do using your calculator, 2 power 29 means 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, all the way to 29th power, then you multiply by 4. So we've already known how we work out that. Let me give you an example. There was an example here. You know, mostly I use the problems given to me by students from the system. Now, there was a problem a student was asking, find the sum of the geometric progression or geometric series. It was 2 plus 4 plus 8 plus ... plus 2048. Now, in this case, for you to find the sum, you need to know, let's test the common ratio. The 4 divided by 2 is the same as 8 divided by 4, which is 2. So 2 is a number bigger than 1. So it simply means that 2 is greater than 1, which means our common ratio is greater than 1. So we will use the first formula, that the sum of the terms should be A into R power n minus 1 over R minus 1. But remember, we do not know n because it's plus 2048, which is the last number here. So you come and say, since the nth term is always A R into n minus 1, now my nth term is now supposed to be, now I'll show you here, because there's no way you can find the sum without knowing n, because we know A. Our A is supposed to be 2, R is we know all that. So you come and say, if your nth term A R into n minus 1 is supposed to be 2048, but I know A. My A is supposed to be 2, and my R is also 2, we had worked out here. So I say 2 times 2, n minus 1 becoming 2048. Then we divide both sides by 2, The 2 will go, so 2 into n minus 1 becoming 1024, 1024. Then you are supposed to express 1024 as a multiple or as a composite factors. So you can come and write your 1024, we divide it through, we say 2 gets here 512, 2 gets here 256. It's not writing that clear. There was another marker here. So we have here 2 gets here 128, 2 gets here 64, 2 gets here 32, 2 gets here 16, 2 gets here 8, 2 gets here 4, then 2 gets here 2, then lastly 2 gets into 2, only ones. Now we want to see how many 2's do we have. We practically count them. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it is 2 power 10. So you come and write our 2 into n minus 1 is the same as 2 power 10. Remember what you are taught in the topic of indices in your middle school, that whenever you have a problem of that nature, having in mind that the bases are the same. Can you remember what you are taught in early stages? That if a power n is a power 4. If bases are the same, so you simply equate the powers, which is going to be applicable here. 2 and 2 are the same bases, so we equate powers. You come and say n minus 1 becoming 10, which implies your n becoming 11. So by showing all this working, the teacher will mark some of these steps as a method. Remember, in mathematics, we don't just give you marks because of the answer. We want you to show the steps, you show the processes. This is applicable across the whole globe. People doing maths will be doing sciences, scientists, pharmacists, engineers, doctors, actuaries, and all the world. You need to show the steps, just like you have a procedure in whatever you do in your daily life. Everything must have a step. Now we have worked out the value of n, then we go back. How are we supposed to find the sum? Our sum was supposed to be a, and our a was 2, into r power n, and our r was 2. Our n now we know to be 11, we minus 1, all over r minus 1, but our r is 2 minus 1 is 1. So you have 2 into, what is 2 power 11? 2 power 2 is 4, 2 power 3 is 8, 2 power 4 is 16, 2 power 5 is 32, 2 power 6 is 64, 2 power 7 is 128, 2 power 8 is 256, 2 power 9 is 512, 2 power 10 is 1024, 2 power 11 is 2048. So we take 2048. But remember, we want to minus 1. So when you minus 1, what are you supposed to get? 2047. Then we multiply by 2. So here we get 4, 8, 9, 0, and 4. You can check with your calculators wherever you are. You can pause my video and check if it provides the same answer. So this is how we are supposed to work out our geometric arithmetic series. The moment you know the concept, then that will definitely lead you to the answer. Now guys, these are some of the bits on how you can always work anything in mathematics. This is just a general advice. Number 1, read the question and identify the topic from where the question comes from. The moment you've known where the question comes from, you get back to the models, the formulas that you know. Because they may provide you with anything. Somebody can come and give you a question, or they give you an answer, then they expect you to come up with a question, which is very important. So you need to know how we generate the geometric arithmetic series. Somebody can come and tell you it is 2n plus 3. That is how an nth term of a certain series is provided. Then they ask you, find the first 4 terms. Are we good? If the nth term is 4, n is 4. If it is the third term, n is 3. If it is the second term, n is 2. If it is the 70th term, n is 3. So n denotes the number of terms. So if you have provided this as an example to the model, then they are asking you, find the first 4 terms. So what are we supposed to do? If you come and look at the first term n must be 1. Then the second term n must be 2. When we talk about the third term, n is supposed to be 3. Then fourth term, n is supposed to be 4. That's how I expect all the students across to arrange their work. So number 1, you have to know each and every term, what they simply denote. Are we good? So you come here and say, if I want to get the Tn here, n being 1 means T1. So wherever you have n, you substitute by 1. You see how easy it is? So 2 times 1 plus 3, giving you 5. If you want to find the second term, which is T2, you are going to say 2 into 2 plus 3, which provide 7. When you want to get the third term, your T3 should be 3 into 2 plus, 2 times 3. Yeah, so plus 3 you get 9. When you want to get the fourth term, your T4 becomes 2 times 4 plus 3. What is 2 times 4 plus 3? You get it to be 11. So your first 4 terms in that sequence becomes 5, 7, 9, and 11. Those are the terms. What if they ask you, how do we find the sum of the first 30 terms? The moment you've checked here, what do you see? The common difference here is 2. So we already know that our common difference is 2. Our first term A is supposed to be 5. Then these guys may go ahead and ask you, will you find the sum of the first 30 terms or 10 terms or 20 terms? It is very easy. You go back to the formula and say, the sum of the number of terms becomes n over 2 into twice A plus n minus 1 into D. That's the first thing that I expect any student to write. And remember this, writing a formula is not a method. Don't expect a tick there. If you substitute the right numerical values into the model, then we call it a method mark. That's when it is called a method mark. So don't start putting pressure on your teachers that, you know, I got it. This is a formula. It is not a method. It only graduates to be a method when you substitute the right numerical values into the formula. Are we okay? So what you are supposed to do is say, our n, if they ask you to find the sum of the first 30 terms, maybe S30. Now my n becomes 30. So I put 30 out of 2 twice A. Remember my first term here was 5. So we double that, we get 10 plus n minus 1. If the first 30 terms, n is 30. So we take 30 minus 1 into D. Our common difference was supposed to be 2. So here we are going to get 15, 10 plus 30 minus 1, 29. 29 times 2 becomes 58. So we get it here to be 58. Then 10 plus 58, 68. Then you take your 68 times 15. What is 68 times 15? We can do that arithmetic with you. We can just multiply it together. 68 times 15, we can say 8 times 5 is 40. We carry 4. 4 plus 8 is 12. 12 plus 30 is 42. We write 2, we carry 4. 4, we add to 6, we get 10. So 68 times 15, we get 1020. So the first sum of the 30 terms in this arithmetic series becomes 1020. So guys, one of my encouragement to my students that if you want to do well in maths, whatever the topic, it doesn't matter. Whether you are in a middle school, in a high school, like my students in the A levels, even the ones I teach masters in quantitative analysis, quantitative techniques, the mathematics basics does not change. So I expect you guys to practice. I expect you to change your attitude. I expect you to ask questions and asking constructive and right questions. In fact, maths, you have to do it every day. I'm now giving this audience, the people that are attending, I see some are online right now, but listen to this. You have to practice every day. This is applicable to my students in Kenya, my students in Canada, the students I have in German, like Mari, the students I have in the United States, like Joseph in the University of Minnesota, who is doing computer science. You have to practice those models every day. Across, from South Africa to Saudi Arabia, all the schools. Mathematics you have to practice on a daily basis. Then you set a target. If you score maybe grade B, and you want to move to A minus or A, or from A to A star, you have to set up the target and you have to write what will make you get it. Not just saying, I want to score an A. No. What are the acts? What are you doing in order to achieve that? If you used to revise once in a week, will you be revising more times, getting more time? If you are revising at night when you are tired, now you start revising in the morning hours. But make sure you practice, ask questions. As we do mentorship, you can always access our contacts down there. You can join our conferences. You can be with us. Our YouTube channel, our Facebook page is Disneyland International. We are also in Twitter. Our Instagram is Teacher Boaz. So you can always join us and ask many questions and be part of this great program. So guys, thank you so much, and I wish you a blessed day. Have this in your books and you revise it later.